Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. It is a beautiful Monday evening here in the Midwest, and Papa and I were just hanging out and decided we wanted to include you in some of our conversations.
What up?
That was Papa being a goober. So, first of all, we had our little date at the pool Saturday again
Yeah, good old
because
day.
finally, for the first time in a couple weeks, the weather was good. Um,
Actually, yeah, this past Saturday it was actually good weather for the pool. Saturday before, not so much.
we had missed out the weekend before because it finally rained here, and
It only does
so
it on Saturdays, it seems.
well, they were also closed for the 4th of July.
Mhm.
Um, so we and then last weekend the weather was very chilly for the season, and it was not a fun experience. We did not last long, but I got my
Oh, half hour.
my
Made it.
pool time.
You, get,
I was gonna be damned if I was gonna miss my pool time again.
you didn't get your floaty out or nothing, but yeah,
No, I did not get to use my floaty. It was way too
we
cold for
just
that. And
stood
no
there.
sun.
No,
It was terrible. But this weekend it was lovely, and I know all my peeps out there might yell, but I did not put any sunscreen on my face because I'm always very careful about wearing sunscreen and wearing a hat and sunglasses to protect my eyes because my vision is already terrible. So, but this one time I was like, I need to get some sun on this white, pale ass face. So I
you got
got
ass face.
sometimes you should know.
No,
Um,
your face isn't an ass, baby.
now
Your
it's
husband's an ass.
now it's just a red face because I did get a nice little burn. Hopefully it will turn brown, but it'll probably just change some weird shade of pink, and that's how it'll be. So
It'll stay. It'll stay that color for a while,
I
at
hope
least till
so.
wintertime.
I hope so because
And then it'll all be as white as pasty as can be.
that is how we white people
Yeah,
do.
that's true. Unless you tan all year round.
And who can afford that? Not well, I know a lot of people do, but
Yeah.
not us. We are not affording that right now.
Nope.
But when we were at the pool, we noticed, like we notice it every time, but sometimes it's way more obvious than others about how people do not teach their children the proper etiquette in public places. Like for example, Papa used to bowl leagues,
Yep.
and there are etiquettes to the approach and when someone next to you is bowling and things like that.
Yeah, it's a like a two-lane courtesy, one-lane courtesy. It's like if you're bowling, the two lanes next to you and left or right of you, they have to wait till you're done bowling. That's
Not the
that's
entire game, just that,
yeah, just that one frame,
yeah.
just that one ball, actually.
Basically, it's just so that you're not a distraction to the person immediately next to you.
I mean, once you're done throwing the ball, then your next lane can go after that.
Yes, and this is common
Yes.
courtesy. That's all it is. And honestly, until I met you, I never knew about that. No one in my family is a bowler.
And it made me so mad when I would be out practicing bowling and some teenager would just take a 5 pound ball and just whip it down there right when I'm trying to bowl.
Yeah, very distracting.
Very
You're trying to
distracting.
concentrate.
Yeah. Very
And like at the pool,
rude.
okay. Now, I am not a oh my get off my lawn kind of person.
Karen,
I am not. But and I fully expect that when I go to the swimming pool and I'm in the swimming pool, I'm going to get wet.
you're gonna get wet, yeah.
I understand that. Okay,
A
and
little drop here and there.
but what I do is I lay in my little floaty because I'm crippled and it takes all the pressure off my back and my neck and it feels amazing for the time that I'm there. And Papa will just kind of like push me around in the water sometimes, like wherever he wants to steer me. And then like if he wants to get out and just go hang out and fry in the sun, then I'll hook my ankles on the side of the pool.
I
And
basically go and sit and watch our stuff so nobody gets in it because they're rooted like that too. In that pool.
yeah, they'll just go right up on your stuff.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that annoys me. I don't like having to be like paranoid at the entire every moment I'm there.
But what do we expect? It's only $2, so we get what we pay for.
It's very true. And I'm not complaining. I like it. It's a very nice little place. They are slowly making it nicer. They've got more benches this year. Um
No,
more
I didn't say I didn't like the pool. I do like the pool.
yeah.
I just don't like some of the people that go to the pool.
Yes. And a lot of times it's people just dropping off their children and leaving.
for like 3, 4 hours, like a day.
And I understand, okay, there are lifeguards, there are 4 lifeguards on duty at all times. I get that. But if your child isn't public trained, you know,
Plus, these lifeguards are teenagers.
but still, I mean, these kids, they act like they have no, like, they running around the pool, and everyone, anybody common sense who's ever been to a public pool knows you don't run around the pool.
And the kids, as we've noticed, are not going to listen to those lifeguards
No.
because there's no David Hasselhoff from.
Yeah,
So
it's
they're not
all
gonna
these
listen to
little
David-
teenage
any-
girls.
No David Hasselhoff
Yeah.
listening. Sorry.
And honestly, the entire time we've been going there, I've only ever heard 2 or 3 lifeguards actually say anything to anyone
And one was
at
this,
this particular pool.
one was this past weekend.
Yeah. And so I'm laying there in my little floaty, okay? My ankles are hooked on the edge. I'm not floating around, bothering anybody. I am stationary. I am a large white woman. You can't really miss me, okay? I'm just saying. You can't miss me. But these kids out of the entire pool were jumping in repeatedly. Jump in, get out, jump in, get out, jump in. Right next, literally 6 inches from me. One kid almost landed on me. And then the one little one would like grab onto the back of my floaty every time he would swim around me to get out to go jump back in and splash me all over again, almost knocking me over. And I say nothing because they're kids and they're having a good time. They're getting exercise out in the sunshine.
But either do their parents.
But the father was standing right next to me, okay, saw this happening for at least 15 minutes. Nothing. Finally, the one little dude grabbed on the back of my floaty again, almost knocking me over again. I went, "What are you doing?" And the dad goes, "Oh, you shouldn't be touching that. That's not yours. You guys should move down further away where there's no people." Where have you been the last 15 minutes? You were literally 4 feet from me, watching it happen. And in those occasions, I don't blame the children.
You okay?
You,
No. We talked about this. I'm fine. We talked about this, but it wasn't me that they were splashing.
but I wanted to take him by the ear and be like, "Look, this is how you behave in public."
Give them a tin ear.
Exactly. I'm on a silver one and a gold plated one and whatever else kind of ear they need
No gold.
to be able to understand that you don't do that shit. And they were doing it on purpose. There was a game. I'm laying there in my floaty, some random stranger, and they just thought it was fun to soak me.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's not funny. And it's very rude that parents, the mom was actually at our table. Okay, she was standing behind a table. She's like, "Oh, did you see that so and so? I don't know the kid's name,
Right.
but she like, did you see him jump? He jumped so high." I would have been like, "I just want to throw you in the water myself, lady." But
Right.
she looked like she'd be one of those Karens. That if she was out in the pool,
Yeah.
and
Getting.
some kids were jumping around her, she would be like, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah. But I don't. I just give you looks so that I can like commiserate silently my irritation, and then I try to let it go. It's the parents though, not teaching their kids how to behave,
Yep,
or sitting
that's
there
just
and
right.
allowing it to happen and not saying anything.
What gets me are the older people complaining about kids these days.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how do you think kids these days got to where they're at? From the older people. Maybe not the grandparents, but people like me, middle aged like us.
Yeah.
All right. We're the ones that are at fault. So we should not, people our age should never complain about kids' interactions these days because we made them this way. Now, we didn't make our kids that way. They're respectful. Okay.
They better be, and they know it.
But, when you see Karen out there complaining about something, or maybe she should look in the mirror and look at her own kids because I'm sure they're not acting any better than the person that she's reading to.
Right? Exactly.
She made the monster
And don't get me wrong.
in her house.
My children were never perfect. They both had ADHD. They both were very, very energetic and hyper. And sometimes when you go to a public place like to a park, you just kind of sit on the bench exhausted and just let them go nuts. But if it came to interfering with other people or other children or things like that, we immediately would step in.
Yeah.
You know, and it's lazy parenting, and that's the thing that makes me so damn mad.
Well, some parents use a swimming pool, a public pool, as a daycare. Like you said,
All summer long,
we
it's the
saw
same
this one
kid.
little kid, all right. That one day now his grandfather comes every once in a while, all right. But his one little kid has
Like
this
7 years old.
has this life vest on. It's way too big for him,
Yeah.
and they just drop him off to let him do what he wants.
Yep.
Until we have to, like, we don't say anything, but he comes over and he plays catch with us, you know, one time, and we played with him, you know. And
Yeah.
so I mean, but the point is,
He's
people
obviously
use the
needy
pool
for adult
as a
attention.
babysitter.
Yes. All summer long for $2, you can drop him off from noon to 5.
Yep, noon to 5, unless it's 4th of July, which is stupid.
I agree.
I think it should have been open the 4th of July. Why would you not be open on the 4th of July?
A pool should be open on the 4th of July, in my
Open
opinion.
Monday through Saturday.
You'll never change our mind on that.
No.
It's, yeah. So,
I'm done ranting about the pop.
oh, yeah. So, everybody out there, I don't know if you're familiar with this really fast, but Facebook Messenger is a great way to connect to each other and stuff. And we love getting messages from all of you, comments, things like that. But if you're one of those people who's just trying to be gross or nasty, don't waste your time, because ain't nobody here looking in for anything like that. Just saying.
Yeah, we
A dozen messages we've had to, like, either straight up delete because they were gross from the get-go, or that similar, hi, how you doing, where you from?
yeah, we
Like,
monitor all that stuff.
yes. So if you want to message us, please do. We love to hear from you. But yeah, save the gross for someone else, because yeah, we're not interested in the gross.
Move on, you know, if you want to be gross, move on to those other, you know, web pages, you know, that actually are.
There's lots of people out there that like the nasty.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of them. Papa's not. No one here is. So thank you anyway.
Thank you, though, for acknowledging us, though. We appreciate it.
One big thing going on in the world that kind of impacts pretty much anybody that, you know, reads, watches TV, the news, anything like that, is the writer's strike. And now the actor's strike, which is going to be delaying
With the writers.
a lot. It's going to be, they're delaying a lot of our look forward to shows and movies and things. So, and they're talking like it could push back things a solid year.
Yeah.
If not more, depending on how long the strike lasts. Now, most people out there don't understand what the strike is for. Can you give us some broad strokes?
It's for, they want more money. You
Part-
know?
Well,
I mean, that's the big thing. They want, I mean, sometimes these writers, okay, I read, only get an average of 69,000 a year. Okay. That, you could get that.
oh,
I read somewhere that these writers only make 70,000 a year.
which to us sounds like woohoo money.
What I was close to making at my last job, you know, with a little bit more bonus.
Well,
And that's only,
you were 15,000 away from that, but okay. We're moving on from there.
no, I'm just saying, giving you an example.
True, yes.
That's all I
But
was saying.
Midwest money, that's good money.
Yes.
But talking New York, LA, the place where, you know, the big, you think of being writers and
New
things.
York City too. New York City.
I said New York,
Oh,
LA.
yeah.
And I'm sure like Tennessee, a lot of writers and
Atlanta.
composers and things there. So it affects music, everything. So, so the strike. They have not been on strike together. The Writers and the Actors Guild have not been on strike together in more than 60 years. Not since Ronald Reagan was the president of the
Guild.
I think it was the Actors Guild at the time, yeah. So
He wasn't a writer. He was just an actor.
yeah, I think so.
Eventually president.
The big thing about the money is they want residuals, and residuals are when things get played in reruns or they get picked up on Netflix or whatever.
Or streaming, whatever streaming service.
Anytime it's replayed anywhere, they get, I don't know how much, 13 cents or something.
That's it?
Exactly. And sometimes, here's the thing, they can't track that on streaming services. They're relying on streaming services to kind of be forthwith and honest, saying this is how many episodes was played.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't happen. So that money that they're supposed to be getting, if it was still all on regular old TV, they're losing out on all that money. That's the issue. So it's the issue of the streaming services. I mean, plus they want more pay, of course. Everybody always wants more money.
Yeah.
But the big thing is on the back end after it's over, that's when you can continue making money even after that particular show or movie or whatever is over.
Speaking of money, let me give you another example here. What I read about it. All right.
Uh,
Some top Hollywood execs make 498 million in the last 5 years. Okay.
yes,
384 times more than your average writer. So without the writer, there's nothing.
exactly. There's nothing to do because
There's no execs. There's no actors. Without the writers, there's nothing else. There's no reason to set anything up there's no
yeah,
reason up for makeup.
there's nothing to do.
There's no reason for actors. There's no reason for anybody. So without the writers are the backbone of the whole Hollywood scene.
Yes.
And I think that is, they should get paid more.
And
They should be treated better and more fairly.
as someone who I consider myself a writer, I have my stories I write and all, if I had put my heart and soul into something, whether it be a movie, a TV show, a commercial, a news article, whatever it is, my name should be on it forever. I should get, the proper money for producing or, and creating that content.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with them. The other issue especially with the Actors Guild, is the AI issue. You and I have seen many movies, many TV shows. They're a lot more AI nowadays. A lot more animated and AGI or whatever it's called.
So many out there now that use it all the time, like Fast and Furious franchise, the Jurassic Park.
Well, this is like the Avatar, like how they like scan the people or use their actual faces, but then like digitalized it and made it different. Well, that's basically they're taking these people's likenesses, and there's nothing to stop them from reusing it as much as they want and not compensating those actors when they do. You see the issue?
Yeah.
So it's like they're stealing their likeness. And that should be in their contract, that if you reuse my image for something other than our original use for it,
Yeah.
then you still need to pay me, and I should still have some sort of approval over that, because like famous people choose what products they endorse.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're going to do commercials or do this TV show or that movie or whatever, they choose those things. And so if they're using AI for something that they have no any kind of like control over, they could put their likeness on anything. Anything. You know what I mean? So that's also a big issue for them. So, speaking of all this wonderful strike information and everything, Papa and I were going to talk about some of our favorite.
Well,
we'll start with TV shows.
Well, let me finish on that.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're gonna have people out there complaining about the actors and about the writers' strike.
Bitching and complaining.
This money. They're in the entertainment.
They already make millions.
Yeah, and that's not true.
Right? Most of them don't know.
No, the writers don't. I mean, if you're a great writer, I'm sure there's pay scales.
Well, like
there's pay scales on different writers. I'm sure.
Oh God, Spielberg. He's making billions.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big name. I was reading an article about it. Yes, and they said that basically it's like anything else. The top people always make more than everyone underneath them. Whether it's the top actors, it's the top executives, whatever, and
unfortunately that goes with any business.
It does exactly, like, and anything else, you're gonna get, the top 1% makes more than everybody else underneath them, even those people underneath them that gets them there.
Yep, exactly.
And makes it happen. So
yeah, I just wanted to say that if you're out there, if you're one of the people out there complaining bitching about these people on strike. Get over it. Move on with your lives. All right.
Read a book, find
Yes.
something else to do.
I mean, the first
Get a
one,
hobby.
the strike's gonna end eventually.
They always do.
They always end, but we don't know what goes on
Behind closed
doors.
Yep.
We don't know. So, I mean, you have a lot of these actors that are actually with them. They know what's going on. So I stand with the writers.
I read in the article that you have to make take home money, not before, like for taxes and all the other crap. Um, almost $30,000 for acting a year in order to qualify for the SAG insurance, which is health insurance through the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
And it said like less than, I think it was like 12 something percent, only 12% of the 160,000 members work enough to earn that much money take home to qualify for the insurance. That's how little these actors are making.
Yeah, unless you're like huge, unless you're like in these big franchises, then those guys are making. They're probably making.
They said that on average, like for 1 week of being like a extra kind of walk-in kind of thing, on a show, it's like $3,200 a week.
Yeah, they don't.
And again, here, that's darn good money. But California, New York, the cities where these things are done, that's nothing.
The average rent's like what, 1,000, 1,600 or something like that. That's low end.
In LA, the average rent's more like $4,000.
Yeah, there's no way you can even pay rent with 3,200.
Exactly, which is why most actors have other jobs.
Yeah.
So it's
like they do commercials and stuff too.
Well, commercials. I mean, a lot of them are wait staff. They do Uber now. They do all kinds of stuff to hustle money to be able to pay the rent while they try to, make their dream come true. That was Molly putting in her 2 cents, y'all. She is very upset about this strike. She is ready for her favorite shows to come back because she has her comfy spot already in front of the TV and there's nothing to watch. But it's okay, Molly, because we read books and I'll read some to you. Yes, we will.
And you can watch Supernatural over and over again.
It's true. Okay, so that brings us into our favorite TV shows. Mm-hmm. This is very hard for me because I've watched hundreds of shows.
TV shows. Which one do you want to do first?
I think we should do TV because I wanted to talk about one of our favorite shows that's ending very soon, and that's Yellowstone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's ending.
So I was
just abruptly.
And I did some digging into that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Kevin Costner has this movie he's making. Okay, and he's very excited about it. It's been something in the works for a while. But somehow or another, the scheduling got screwed up. And the start of the movie to start filming was in the middle of the end of their of filming the last half of season 5. And so Kevin Costner came in and was like, hey, can we shoot 6 episodes this week so we can finish my part and, I can go film my movie? And then everybody was like, no, we can't do that.
How rude is that? How rude is to say no to Kevin Costner?
Right. And he was like, so evidently words were said behind the scenes with the executives and they're like, well, this is in your contract and yada, yada. And, you know how things escalate. So that made him decide, I'm done with you people. I'll just go back to being a millionaire and making my movies.
Yeah, I can see why they would say no, though. Because
well, you can't push 6 weeks of episodes and filming in a week. That's not going to be any good.
Plus, when Yellowstone, some of their scenes take hours. Sometimes they're out late at night, 1, 2 in the morning.
Yes,
doing these scenes. So I mean, if you're doing these,
one episode takes like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to film.
You can't. I mean, I don't blame Kevin Costner at all. Okay.
But I think he just wanted to film his scenes.
Maybe they think.
But still, that's a lot of.
There's a lot of Beth, a lot of Rip, a lot of everything.
Not only that, but like you have to have schedules for being on certain locations. You have to have, crew. You have to have equipment, and bringing all that in just in a week just to do his scenes. That is a lot to ask.
I don't agree on canceling it though, just because of that.
No. Here's the thing.
It wasn't the reason.
something. Okay, from what Taylor Sheridan is the creator, right? And he said that all this was going on, he had nothing to do with it, right? He's just like, hey man, can we make this happen? And they're like, well, you gotta go ask Paramount. And Paramount was like, sorry, dude, that's a no from us, dog. And
Which is weird.
because it was just not feasible to do,
No,
you know?
yeah.
And so, like I said, things were said and done. But Taylor Sheridan said that John Dutton was never going to make it to the end anyway. That they foresaw he was not going to be the last man standing. So
Well, that's a spoiler and a half for the last.
yeah, um,
Are they going to do more, or are they going to cancel this show?
yes, this one is done, but they're going to have the spinoff is called Yellowstone something. No, it's I don't think it's going back further. Maybe this.
It's going.
They're not exactly. It's not a Dutton story. It's a different point of view, I think.
They can actually do a Dutton story. They still got all those. They still got Beth, unless the whole farm, unless the
But get,
place blows up.
do you have any guess who the main character is going to be
For this next Yellowstone,
for the spinoff? Yep.
Shirley Hunnam.
Oh God, I wish. But no, it's Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
So he is going to be the lead character of the new spinoff. And so they had to work very hard to close off the original Yellowstone, which again, with the writer's strike and everything, has made things very complicated and difficult. But since Taylor Sheridan, I believe, writes most of all of it anyway,
Yeah.
you know.
How cool would it be if he's actually the son or the grandson of John Dutton, and he's grown up and he wants to take over the ranch? And
That would be
his great-
cool. That would be cool.
You know, I mean, that's how they do it. That would be awesome.
But from the way it was, the article was written, Taylor Sheridan said that there was going to be there's lots of stories like that, and that there's lots of them waiting to be told. So like that's why I'm thinking it's not a Dutton at all. It's they're moving on to a whole different something. I don't know, but they said they don't even have quite how the whole thing worked out yet. But it's supposed to premiere in December.
Well, it's not going to premiere in December if they haven't start making it yet.
Yeah, it's I
It
don't.
takes months, maybe years, sometimes a year at least to make some of these.
Well, yeah. I'm just telling you what the article said.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I'm just saying I don't know how it's going to happen.
I'm very excited about Matthew McConaughey, though.
Let's just hopefully there's some good co-stars too, and not some unknowns. I don't.
Well, it did say that there were some original Yellowstone characters that were going to be on it.
So maybe they're not going to go, future, grandson Dutton. Maybe they're not going to do it.
I don't have any clue. They said there was going to be some original characters, and but yeah, that it was Matthew McConaughey was going to be the main lead.
In that article, did it say when the last half of Five's coming out?
I know they're working on them. They're
Still,
yeah.
it's been off for like a year.
Well, but again, they had to rewrite the entire last half of the season.
They're probably not writing it now.
Well, when
Thanks that stupid strike.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm just kidding.
It complicated everything because they had to redo the entire last half season to tie it up and kind of also open the way for the next one. But yeah, they decided to shut the whole thing down and start with the whole new spinoff.
Wow.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that's your number one.
No, it is one of my favorite shows. But no, that is not. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I was very interested that my Matthew is gonna be our next lead. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, he's getting old now. He's getting up there in age.
So is
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. So
Harrison Ford getting up there too.
mm-hmm.
The 1923.
What's your number one TV show?
Oh, my number one's Yellowstone.
Really?
Yeah. What's your number one?
My I don't have them in order. I just have some that I really enjoy. I would say of my all time, it would be Grey's Anatomy.
In fact, all my shows I've listed here are done.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's got half, but all of my other shows are done.
Yeah, I love Grey's Anatomy. I think it's past its prime now. It's time to be done.
Yeah, 20 seasons.
It's been past its prime for a minute, and
20 seasons?
17 or 18. I think it's 18.
That's too many.
But now that
Meredith.
Meredith is left, and I'm so sorry I can't think of the actress's name.
Nobody knows her. They just want to know as Meredith.
No, I know her name, Ellen
Yeah.
Pompeo. That's
Yeah.
what her name is. Um, after she left, it's like, okay, there's no more Gray.
I think it was done. I think it stopped being good after Patrick Dempsey left.
Yeah, I hate to say it.
He was the main man of the show.
Well, I kind of liked the season after she came back when she was just trying to figure out single motherhood and coming back into being a doctor again. And
Did you like the COVID episodes?
no, I hated them. Every single show we watched, from COVID on is when my viewing style changed because every single thing we watched was nothing but COVID. And don't get me wrong, I understand that we're in the midst of the pandemic. That was happening in real life, but we watch TV to get away from our reality.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch, somebody out there having an awesome party on a beach somewhere because,
Or somebody stabbing somebody and get away with it.
yeah, whatever your taste is, sure.
Michael Myers.
But I loved Grey's Anatomy. It was been amazing for many, many years. All the characters and the actors and one of my other favorites is Bridgerton, also a Shonda Rhimes show.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've never watched it with me.
Watched it.
You're not into my British shows.
I'm not a big Netflix guy.
I don't understand that they have a lot of good stuff on there.
I haven't found anything. I found one thing. That's it.
Which is
Ozark.
well,
That's another show that's canceled. That's not coming back.
Yeah,
They might do another prequel or whatever.
I doubt it.
But no, Jason Bateman said they might do like maybe not a prequel, but they're gonna actually maybe do another series. It's not gonna be like Ozark, but it's gonna be like something like it's not gonna be called Ozark, but it's gonna be take the family show what happened to the family after the finale.
Got ya.
That's what I heard. I haven't seen anything about it or anything. But that's what I heard. But it was a very good ending. So I mean, if you're out there and you like Ozark and and you haven't finished it, finish it because it was a good ending. I know. Like
So your number one was
Yellowstone.
I'm gonna say Grey's Anatomy if I had to pick a number one. What's your number two?
Blacklist.
Another one that just ended.
Yep, 10 years and it was the worst ending ever.
Yeah, I had quit watching it several years ago because it was just kind of the same old to me every week. But
Reddington is like
I know he's your hero.
He's like one of the biggest badasses on TV.
But yeah, I couldn't. But even from what the ending is so stupid.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you haven't watched it, there's some spoilers. If you're a big fan, I'm going to say some spoilers here so you can fast forward from this part on if you haven't seen it. But he dies because a bull gored him. And basically, I mean, he didn't show him tear it apart or nothing. Didn't show any stab or anything. Just showed him bleeding from the head. And like bent over, like bent in half. But, I mean, he was a big admirer of this one bullfighter. And he was trying to take back this bull's skull, to Spain. And that's why he was actually in Spain. Plus, he was running away from the FBI,
Right.
And his friends, they were trying to catch him. And he was walking across the field. He was sick, so he's dying anyway, so he doesn't care. Walking across the field, he coughed up blood. And then he looked over, sees this bull. This bull sees him. They stare at each other for a few minutes.
Battle!
It shows the bull running at him. And then it shows Agent Wrestler in a helicopter looking for him, and he sees him in the field. The helicopter lands. Wrestler goes over and checks on him, checks, make sure he has a pulse. He calls his buddies, says, "Hey, I got Reddington," and it goes to the credits. And that's how the series ends. Very frustrating. I don't usually bitch about movies or shows, but I don't know what happened to anybody else in the Blacklist crew.
Right.
We don't know if they kept the Blacklist crew open, or if any of them got fired, or moved on, or what happened. So
if Reddington's dead or alive.
Reddington's dead. He's dead.
Sure. We'll see.
Well, yeah, he never did say. True. He never did say he's dead.
Right.
But you assume it because he's hunched over in a hole, with, you're assuming gores,
Yeah.
like horn holes in them.
Yeah. But
And I don't
no.
think he fought the bull.
No.
He probably just stood there and let the bull have his turn with him. So, but
Probably.
that was my number 2.
Okay, rating these is really hard for me. So there's not really in any particular order because I love them all.
Mhm.
I'm a medical person, you know me. I think my second is going to be ER.
Oh, I forgot about ER. Yeah.
It was the original Grey's Anatomy, and for the time and the era, I mean, I've seen Grey's Anatomy episodes that were literally just taken straight from the ER and were redone
Yeah.
with their actors. Um, and so to me, it will always be like the pinnacle of TV shows for me.
My next one's Baywatch.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not Baywatch. Sorry, I'd had a David Hasselhoff shout out earlier. Just wanted to throw Baywatch out there. No, it's Sons of Anarchy.
Oh,
It's
yes.
my third one. We never watched it when it was out. We didn't watch it until after it was canceled.
I became a huge fan in its last season.
Okay. I
And
didn't.
no, you were like, oh, it's something that the wife watches. It must be girly.
And
it's badass and
I
awesome.
always ended up watching stuff you watched, but then you ended up giving up on half your shows. I'm still watching them.
I cannot watch the fucking depressing ass shit all the time. I live a depressing ass shit. I don't need any more. I want to watch something happy.
So you watch Supernatural. That's not happy.
It is because I think it is anyway. So I will agree with you on number again. They're not in any particular order,
Yeah.
but Sons of Anarchy.
And I do like the Mayans too. I know a lot of people don't
I'm not a fan.
because I mean they 5 seasons. It's over. It's just one more episode. This 2 days coming up Wednesday, but I mean I watched it just because it was an SOA thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it was
couldn't.
a Kurt Sutter.
I'm one of those people that when something is done and I'm a fan, don't fuck with it. Don't change it. Don't do spin-offs. Don't do remakes. Leave my shit alone.
What if they do another series with something anarchy about the boys, like they were actually rumored to do, grown up, like one's supposed to be a doctor or
And
one's a
that's
cop.
fine because they're not taking the same guys
Well, then
and
mine's
trying to, but they're trying to force it. It was way too forced.
You've seen Tig once. You've seen Happy twice, and one time was Kaz Happy. They killed him. Sorry, spoiler. They killed Happy. Okay, because he killed her mom. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the only 2 people we really saw.
Yeah, I'm not a Mines fan.
No, mine's is over. Mine's was I only watched it because
it was an SOA thing.
Yeah, it was not the right thing. I want to see where they went from there. But
so, what's your number
mine's
4?
ain't even on my list. Even sorry, it's Ozark is number 4.
Okay, so you said Ozark.
Ozark.
Okay, so for me, I'm gonna say The Walking Dead because again, for its time, it was innovative, it was new, it was fresh, it was always something new, you know? But again, after the whole COVID thing and just the depression set in.
Before that was when Rick left.
Well, yeah, after when Rick left, I pretty much checked out.
Because they didn't have no COVID storylines on that.
No, but it was during COVID when I was like, I can't do any more negativity.
Well, plus,
and
actually, the COVID thing was after Rick moved on.
Yes.
And they had season 10, right? And they had to stop, taping because of it. And then when it started taping again, they taped some extra episodes for number 10, which was horrible.
Okay. Yeah.
I think as the seasons went on, I was not a big
when
fan.
you get past a certain number of seasons, unless you have an end game in sight, something you're working towards, you're just forcing it.
And that's what they were doing.
And it's just like I'm taking it from the places where it was the first decade for most of these where they were awesome, And for me, that's what I'm hanging on to. Like when they first started, like every week I couldn't wait.
The first 3 seasons were the best.
Oh well, absolutely. But I loved The Walking Dead up until Rick left.
And
then when he left, I know Andrew Lincoln chose to leave. He wanted to spend time with his family.
And he's back with the Walking Dead universe.
But his big thing was he wanted to spend time with his family. And he left right in the nick of time before COVID. And so blessings on them, But yeah.
He's back with the Rick and Michonne. That's what it's called. Starting in 2024.
So that's my number 4.
My number 5 is Walking Dead. And I put it, and that's another show we started watching together. I mean, he started watching it first. I was working at fast food, working evenings, being a manager. And you said, "Oh, I'm watching a show," and I think I started
about
watching
zombies.
it. I think I started watching it in like 3rd or 4th episode. When we started, you went back and we went forward.
Well, you started watching it with me in the middle of an episode, and you were like, "What's this? What's that? Oh man, that's cool." And I'm like, "How about we just start over and go back to the first episode?" Because I'm totally happy to watch it again.
But I think you're only on through the 3rd or 4th episode of the first season when I started watching it.
I don't.
I still watched it.
That was many moons ago.
Yeah, but I've watched it from beginning to end. Well, you didn't. You gave up on it.
You're right, and I'm totally okay with that. I'm okay with my choices. My number 5 is more of a group of kind of shows that I've. A lot of them are also off the air, but True Blood, Supernatural, Sandman, The Witcher.
Are they still on?
The Witcher, Sandman is, Lucifer is not, Supernatural is not.
There's nothing happy at all on those shows.
But they're fantasy. You know what I mean? It's not obviously like they're walking down Main Street and
it's not like, SVU, Law and Order shows.
Right. It's not, there's no reality to it. It's all fantasy. And I love shows like that because they're fun. And Supernatural, yes, I'll shout out right now. I watch it on repeat 24 hours a day, even in my sleep. I wear a headset because I just really enjoy it. The storylines are great. The acting is amazing. You've never seen a single episode. But again, I think if you did, you would be hooked immediately.
But I never watched the full season. No.
Yeah, but things like True Blood was a great show.
Never watched it.
A lot of those I really enjoy. So it's that kind of fantasy genre, kind of vampires and werewolves and zombies and all that. So that's my 5th all squished into one.
That's good. That's good TV shows.
Yeah.
Now we have movies.
Oh, good gracious. This was really, really hard for me. I'll have you know, because I love movies. There are so many that I consider my favorites. I go to some, I'm like, ooh,
I'm going to go 5 to 1.
Okay, and mine are not in any particular order because I can't do that.
Okay.
You go.
So my 5th one is Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, about Vince Pompeo of the Eagles.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Okay, well, I'm going to go...
EAGLES Eagles.
By the way, in my 5th one, when I included all my I also include the little Marvel miniseries in there, because I consider those more TV shows, but those are included in those. So, just so...
No, that's good.
Include my Marvel dudes in there. So, I'm going to say my number 1, Breakfast Club, because I'm me, and I like all things 80s, and The Breakfast Club is just amazing.
It's a good movie. Yeah, it was one of those movies you didn't really have to think about.
No, it's
just watch those kids and
all those kind of movies in the 80s were
for a full day, and that's all you see.
Yep. It's awesome. Okay, what next?
My 4th one, Titanic.
Ooh, that is a good one.
It's a long one, but it doesn't seem long. And even watching it over again, it doesn't seem that long.
I love Titanic, but I'm gonna say for my number 2, Howard the Duck. Again,
so we're getting 80s movies.
No, these are just my favorites, my all-time. If I could watch it forever, kind of thing. I love Howard the Duck. It's cute. It's whimsical. Again, it's that fantasy because he's part of Marvel.
Okay,
so
yeah,
I love my Howard.
It's good. And they might even make another movie.
I hope so. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. So for my 3rd one, all right, I got a bunch of movies. The Fast and Furious movies, except for Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
But the other ones,
I do really like those too.
Yeah. Fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're nowhere near reality.
Crap doesn't work. Exactly.
And then my last 80s one, is The Goonies.
There you go.
I'm me and my Goonies. I gotta have those. My 3 80s take me back to my childhood, happy, like you said, no thinking, just enjoyment.
In the movie, you can just veg in your chair and just not miss nothing because there's really nothing to think about.
Yep.
My second are the Jurassic Park and the World movies, all of them together. Because you can't say one and not the other.
Yeah,
Now,
they're all really
there are
good.
a couple that are better than others.
But especially the Jurassic Park ones, from again, the time that they were made.
Yeah,
I mean, amazing, amazing, amazing.
yeah.
That's a good one. And I love those too. But I had to go with the Marvel franchise because I can't pick just one movie.
And Marvel franchise is a good one too because I love Marvel too.
Yeah, so it's all of them because we watch basically the same movies, and this is like the little crappy whatever movies when it's a rainy day and you're bored.
So you
But
have to watch them in order.
well, yeah,
No, you have to. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh, I'm in the mood to watch," Civil War today. I'm like,
Thinking the same thing.
but we'll start with Iron Man. We'll get there eventually. That kind of
Well,
thing.
you start with Captain America.
Well,
That's the first one.
technically, yeah. Well, technically, it's Captain Marvel's first one.
Well, you know what I mean. But in the timeline,
Yeah.
they say Captain America's first on the timeline.
The chronology of those movies is a big debate with most people.
Yeah.
All right, so my last one is Everything Downton Abbey. I love Downton Abbey. I'm a big British nerd.
Man, boring, boring, boring.
I'm a middle-aged white woman in the Midwest. What do you expect?
We went to the movie theater to see the movie Downton Abbey, and I
We
about
did.
fell asleep.
And I cried a little.
The old lady died. About time.
Hey!
Sorry.
Listen up, miser.
No, Downton Abbey was all right.
You actually liked it. You were
It was
surprised.
okay. Yeah, I didn't cry. But my number one movie is Christmas Vacation.
I knew that.
Yep, Christmas Vacation, a classic. Any time of the year, not just Christmas.
You were just watching it yesterday.
I watched a few minutes of it, and I just couldn't get into it in July.
Yeah, well, it's Christmas in July.
Yeah, in a week. Yeah, but right now it's not. But I tried.
It's always there for you.
I got to the part where he's in the office and the boss is walking down to him, called him. He's drinking out of his Tasmanian Devil coffee cup, talking to his buddy about the bonuses. And I had to turn it off there. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I watched after that, but
You got triggered.
no, there's no trigger. I just couldn't get into it. But that's my movies.
And that's I want to put this out there in the universe. So I will watch anything with Keanu Reeves in it,
John Wick, awesome.
Robin Williams in it. Oh,
Mhm.
rest in peace.
Yep.
Anything with Tom Hanks.
Yep.
And anything for me personally with Brad Pitt.
Not everything for me, but there's some.
But I refuse to watch anything.
With Angelina Jolie.
And that whore. I hate her. Nothing with Tom Cruise.
No, or yeah.
No Elizabeth Moss. I hate that because The Handmaid's Tale was one of my absolute favorites.
I was saying Elizabeth Olsen. I'm like, well, she's
No. Elizabeth Moss. And nothing with Will Smith. And that's all because
Will Smith.
they're Scientologists and I can't do it.
Brag. You don't even know. You won't even know he's a Scientologist unless you read something about it. But he doesn't go out there. I mean, if anything, you should be pissed that he slapped Chris Rock.
I thought that was freaking hilarious.
It was fun, even though I think it was scripted.
I don't think it was.
He was laughing. Will Smith was laughing, and then he looked at his wife, and she wasn't laughing. So he's like, "I'm just gonna go up there and slap him then, slap a hoe," and it ruined his career.
No, it didn't. He's Will Smith.
He hasn't done anything since.
Well,
he's got a little black.
I've always, know me. I love Will Smith, and I always have, but I cannot support him anymore.
He's an Eagle fan. I gotta support him.
Well, you do you, and I'll do me. And
how about Adam Sandler? You like Adam Sandler movies too?
I have to be in the right mood because they're stupid dude comedies. They're not really geared towards women.
Right?
It's a dude movie, and sometimes I'm in a mood for a good old fashioned raunchy dude movie. Okay,
like American Pie.
Did you ever watch Porky's? Yes. Good old dude movie. Sometimes
Nights. You ever see that one?
Yes, and sometimes you're just in a mood for a good old raunchy dude movie.
Porky's Revenge,
and all of but it's not geared towards me.
How about that one movie back in the day? Just One of the Guys. Ever see that one? That was the first transgender, but she wasn't really. She was a crossdresser actually.
I know, I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, it was about a girl dressed up as a guy in high school
Oh, well, that's
to fit
made
in,
18,000 times.
and then she has this guy best friend, and she ends up falling in love with him, but he thinks that his friend's a dude, and that he's gay.
Oh my
And
God.
he finds out then later on that his friend's a chick. It's just funny. I mean, if you'll probably be able to stream it for free out there somewhere. It's one of those movies.
Right.
But
All right.
that's all the
Well,
movies for me, all the shows for me.
me too. And, guys, I know it's been a minute. We're doing episodes as quick as I can. I've been having some pain issues and some very horrible fatigue issues. So hang in there with us. We're not going anywhere, and we'll always be right here waiting to talk to you again next time.
Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.